Today's sponsor is Slick Wraps. Slick Wraps offers some of the highest quality skins I've ever used. They have a ton of options to choose from, including carbon fiber, leather, and real wood. I've been using the black carbon fiber skin on the Gunmetal One M9, and the combo looks amazing. So if you want to give your phone a new look and protect it a little bit at the same time, use the link in the description to go check it out for yourself. The HTC One series hasn't changed that much. For the past 3 generations, HTC has taken the if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach. And a lot of people do not like the HTC One M9 because they don't feel it had enough improvements over the HTC One M8. I think that the M8 improved a lot of areas and made a lot of correct improvements to make it a very well-rounded phone, but it's not perfect. So here is my full review of the HTC One M9. You can pick up the M9 anywhere between $600 and $650 online, and that's a fairly standard price for a modern flagship, but that also includes HTC's Uh-Oh protection plan, which is basically you can get a free replacement HTC One M9 if anything happens to your phone within the first year. So you drop it and crack it, you just get a free device, and that is really awesome of HTC to offer that. You can also get it in 3 different color options, being the gray with a gray trim, the silver with a gold trim, and then the gold with a gold trim. I gotta say, I definitely like the gunmetal gray look the best, especially when paired with the black carbon fiber skin. I just think it looks really good, but without a skin on it, I really don't like the polish of the metal of the HTC One M9. It's a very shiny polish and prone to fingerprints and smudging, and I just don't think it looks that good, especially when compared to the matte finish on the metal on the original HTC One. I think HTC hit the sweet spot in terms of size. With a 5-inch screen, it is perfectly one-handable while still being big enough to enjoy media consumption. So when you're using it with one hand, like I do a lot, and I really value one-handability, you can easily reach across the screen with your thumb, so it's no problem there. Yet the screen is still 5 inches and pretty big, so if you're watching YouTube videos or something, it still looks really good. The build has always been one of the best parts of the HTC One series, and that's no exception with the M9. The all-metal build and body of the HTC One M9 not only looks good when it's clean, but it also feels good, and it does give it a little bit of heft, but all of that together just results in the phone feeling premium to use, and it just feeling like you're holding an expensive item, not a piece of plastic that costed $600. But one of the downsides to the all-metal build is that when the phone gets hot, which it does, the metal will stay hot. So even if you put it in your pocket and take it out 5 minutes later, it will still be a little hot to the touch, and that's kind of annoying. The durability on the HTC One M9 has really impressed me. I dropped it more than a few times when using it as my daily driver, and the worst thing that happened to it are just some scuffs and dents around the metal casing of the body. The screen is absolutely perfect, and actually I think the scuffs and the dents around the edge kind of add a little bit of character to the phone and make it my own. Here's a quick overview of the I/O on the HTC One M9. On the front you have your HTC Boom Sound speakers and 4 megapixel selfie camera. On the back you have the all new 20.7 megapixel camera. On the left side you have your SIM card tray. On the right side you have your micro SD card slot, volume rockers, and power button. I don't love the low placement of the power button, but it is better than on the top of the phone. Speaking of which, on the top there is the IR blaster, and the bottom has the micro USB port and the headphone jack. HTC hit a very good balance in terms of screen size and resolution. 1920 by 1080p looks very sharp at the 5-inch screen size, and just in general the colors are very vibrant, there's good contrast, and it's just a good overall screen. I really don't see a need for Quad HD at such a small screen size. I think 1080p is plenty sharp, you'll never see any pixels, and it is easier to drive and probably has better battery life. The camera is one of the biggest sites of improvement for the new HTC One M9. The previous 2 generations used ultra pixel technology, which basically used less megapixels that allowed bigger pixels. Really, it didn't work all that well, and the cameras were pretty garbage on the previous generations, but this year HTC jumped up to a 20.7 megapixel sensor, and that is a huge improvement over the previous generations, but it still could have been better. So right now you're looking at a collection of pictures all taken on auto, because most people won't use the more advanced controls when taking pictures with their phone. As you can see, it's definitely possible to take good looking shots with the M9. With the right lighting, it looks crispy and the colors are great, but the phone will often struggle with auto exposure, either being too bright or too dim, and if you're in a low light situation, the M9 really struggles with the noise control. The HTC One has the best overall sound of any smartphone, period. Of course, the HTC Boom Sound front-facing stereo speakers get very loud and sound absolutely incredible. And HTC also partnered with Dolby to provide immersive audio modes. And while that sounds gimmicky, they actually sound really good, and I always use them when I'm listening to music. But even if you aren't using the built-in speakers on the One M9, it still sounds amazing. The audio internals on the inside are just top-notch. The headphone amp and everything together makes it a very good listening experience, whether you're using third-party speakers, listening to it in a car or on headphones, anything like that. It just sounds really good. It can get louder than you're comfortable with, and overall it just provides a generally very good audio listening experience. Unfortunately, HTC does use a skin over Android 5.0, but it's really not that bad. It's called HTC Sense 7, and the biggest changes that you'll notice most often are blink feed, which is to the left of your home screens, and the vertical app drawer. And honestly, once you get used to it, it's really not that bad. It doesn't slow the phone down at all. It doesn't change the look drastically from stock Android, and it's just a matter of getting used to it, and you won't even remember that you're using a skin. But if you're really against skins, you should know that HTC Sense 7 is installed on the HTC One M9, and it's not that bad compared to stock Android, but it's not stock Android. Battery life is another huge area of improvement for the HTC One M9. You're looking at a non-removable 2,840 milliamp hour battery on the inside of the M9, and well, to be honest, it gets the job done. Very few days would I have to charge before the end of the day. Apps like SoundCloud that traditionally drain a lot of battery would be fine on the HTC One M9, but if I was using navigation and location to get from point A to point B for like a 30-minute car drive, I would need to charge it before the end of the day. But other than like really heavy use scenarios like that, it lasted me all day and then some. Conclusion time. The HTC One M9 is a very well-rounded phone, and I mean that. There are actually no areas of the phone that I dislike. This is one of the few phones on the market right now that I would be comfortable signing a 2-year contract with. Thank you for watching, subscribe to see more content, and as always, stay classy.